Welcome to Bourton-on-the-Water. Bourton-on-the-Water is famous for kind of what we're seeing here. These stone small bridges, they're very cute. It's got this small little river running through it and it's very picturesque. So it's like when you come here, you can just kind of like chill out on the green around the area, have like a picnic, get some photos, walk along the river, take in the pictures and just sort of relax. It's a very small town with a very cute area. This is why people love here and this is why it's become so popular as a tourist destination, and very much so for, say, like people on Instagram or YouTube who want to make videos or take photos here. Is absolutely a brilliant location. But there is more stuff here, not just the cute river and bridges that we're currently standing right next to. This is a really good town if you want to do some shopping. There's a lots of different shops here, a lot of different varieties, from candy shops to local bakeries and restaurants to some clothing stores. There's even like a really cute Christmas shop here. So it's one of the better towns to really come by to do some shopping in a local area. They're all local businesses, so if you do some shopping here, you'll be supporting a local business. The Motoring Museum here is also very famous. We did go there last year, so we didn't go here this year, but it's a very fun. The best part of the Motoring Museum is, of course, Brom is here. This is where one of the locations where Brom was filmed, and this is where he's kept. Definitely worth visiting Brom if you're in and around the area. St. Lawrence's Church is an absolutely gorgeous church. It seems like it's been done up a little bit. It's like been revamped on the inside, looks a little bit new. The outside still remains with the traditional architecture. It's a very nice place to come and visit. Like all these small sort of towns here in the Cotswolds do sort of like kind of center around a church mostly, and the church here in Bourton-on-the-Water is gorgeous and definitely worth paying attention to, especially if you want to make a prayer or you just want to see the architecture or experience sort of like the local culture in the area. The model village at £4.50 is actually a really good deal to come in here and see. At first, I thought this area was going to be a little bit too small because the area is incredibly small. It doesn't take long. You can literally walk around here in 10 minutes, but if you're taking some photos and filming other things, it might take you like 40 minutes, maybe an hour spent around here, but that's probably the maximum amount of time you're going to spend here. But the village is really cool because it's like a little trip back into old Bourton-on-the-Water. The village is modeled after how it looked in 1930, because they started building this in the 1930s, and now it's kind of like being redone. Like some of the houses that they built a long time ago are starting to like crumble and mold, so a lot of buildings are starting to look a little bit new, but there are still a lot of the original buildings here and they look really cool. So it's like a little walk back into time, so you can walk around the town. You can come to the model village and you can see just how it looked back then and compare it to how it looks now. A lot of the stuff here is still standing, and a lot of the buildings are still standing, the river, the bridges, and it's all just a really cool, really fascinating little trip here. Is another perk for Bourton-on-the-Water. All right, so we've entered the Dragonfly Maze here in Bourton-on-the-Water. Now it's not just any maze. We've been given a piece of paper and we need to find 14 words that are hidden throughout the maze. And once we find all 14 words, we can then read a sentence that will open up, the door opens up, but then once we enter this door, a dragonfly will appear and we have to find the dragonfly. So first we have to find all 14 words, and then we have to see what the clues are. Okay, let's see how long this takes us. Oh, back at the ladder money. Where the hell are we? I'm gonna try and see where we are. I don't know where we are. So at £4.50, I would say the maze is definitely worth the entrance fee. It's a fun little game. It's not so quick. You're not over so quickly. There is quite a the The puzzle is quite difficult to figure out. Apparently we done it in over 20 minutes, but under 50 minutes. So apparently that's like a normal time, so it wasn't too bad for us. Good to know, but definitely worth coming in. If you're staying around Bourton-on-the-Water, it's kind of like a whole day you really need here. The maze is definitely a fun activity to do, as long as it's not raining. Now, we stayed here in a very cute house. It's a guest house. I thought I was booking like some sort of hotel, but it's a guest house. The person we were staying with was very kind, very helpful, in the Hanford house, or Harford house. Sorry. It's a very cute house. Now, all the locations around here are going to be a little bit expensive. We saw prices ranging from all over the Cotswolds. Like the cheapest ones were just under £100 a night, and anything up to like £1,000 a night for the extreme ends, but mostly maybe 150 a night, 160 a night. It is going to be quite expensive to stay here in the Cotswolds, no matter where you're staying. And in a place like this, Bourton-on-the-Water, it's going to be extremely expensive. So where we tried to save money is, unfortunately, we didn't really eat local. There are some fantastic restaurants here to try. If you go to the Rose Tree, it apparently has locally sourced food. If you want to have a taste of the Cotswolds, the Mousetrap Inn for, again, some more local food and local ales here. And there are some small bakeries. Now, we did eat in the bakery on the water, which was a very yummy little bakery. We had breakfast there, but there are others like the small kitchen as well. But if you want to save money, then maybe one of your better options is to go to the supermarkets here. You'll quite often see like a petrol station on the edge of town, or like a slightly bigger supermarket. There's a co-op here in Bourton-on-the-Water. There's a co-op in a few of the other places as well. There's also a Budgeons. You can kind of eat slightly cheaper. You don't really get the taste of the Cotswolds, but you will save a little bit of money, especially considering the expense that the hotel is going to set you back. One thing, unfortunately, that we didn't get to do that we would have liked to have tried is checked out the local ale here. Right here in Bourton-on-the-Water, you've got the Hawkstone Brewery, and you can buy these ales in most places in the Cotswolds, but we didn't really have time to go into the bars when we was in the other cities, or when we was in the other villages. Obviously, I'm driving around here, so I couldn't have a drink in any of them. And whilst we was here in Bourton-on-the-Water, we're staying here as our home base, we didn't really have time to go to the bar. Like, it's very exhausting driving around, but it's definitely worth trying the local ale. However, we didn't, so it's hard to recommend doing something that I didn't actually do myself. But if you do want to come here and try the local ale to get the local experience, Hawkstone Ale is the ale you're looking for. Now, there are buses that you can take around the Cotswolds, but I highly recommend driving around the Cotswolds. Here in Bourton-on-the-Water, there's a very massive car park just on the edge of town that is a pay and display. We didn't obviously pay because we could park at where we were staying, but also take into your calculations, every time you park somewhere, the cost is going to go up. Now, we did notice in some of the smaller villages that if you park just outside of town in a more residential area, sometimes there is free parking. So maybe it's worth driving around a little bit to see if there is free parking, but maybe there's not and you have to go to a car park. Now, Bourton-on-the-Water is one of the most famous places here in the Cotswolds because it is absolutely gorgeous. I highly recommend coming here. It's going to be a great Instagram location for you, or it's just going to be a great location for you to chill and relax, and it's a perfect family place to stay, as there is so much to do here with the Jurassic Journey, the maze, the museum, the food, this river. Like, often you'll see kids playing in here. You can see dogs playing in here as well. This is probably the reason this is one of the most popular places in the Cotswolds, is because it is a perfect location for families to come, relax, have a stay, have a break away from the city or wherever you're coming from. It is a highly recommended place. I would say that this is a one-day location because of everything you've got to do here. If this isn't where you're staying, if you're staying in like another village and you're just exploring the Cotswolds, you're driving around or you're getting buses around, this is probably a location you would need to spend one day if you wanted to experience it to its max. Now, if you just wanted to come and take some photos along the river, then I guess move on to another location. Of course, that is absolutely fine, because this is the most photographed location here in Bourton-on-the-Water. But however, if you want to experience the maze, the journey, the food, the ale, then you're probably going to need an entire day to experience Bourton-on-the-Water. And one last thing before I go, check out our photo montage here on Bourton-on-the-Water. could keep going on and on about this place, as it's an absolutely gorgeous location and we enjoyed our time here. But it's time to say goodbye to Bourton-on-the-Water. It's time to say goodbye to Bourton-on-the-Water. As we say in the UK, see you later, mate.